Hi. What are you doing? I'm trying to record. Thank you very much. Okay, if you guys don't know, the only way to establish dominance with a cat is to boop it. Hey. Boop. You are now my bitch. What's up, YouTube? Jason here with Jason Bytes Back, episode number Cientes Suquente. And in today's video, I'm going to be going back over the last month and talking about, responding to, answering whatever comments that have happened in the last month. Yes, there's a cat on my desk, so I'm just gonna pull this over here so you guys don't think I'm crazy. Before I start off this video though, I do want to say thank you to all of the awesome people that showed up for my New Year's live stream. One, I had the most successful live streams that I've had so far for New Year's, so I want to say thank you to everybody, and I appreciate you guys for showing up, and I have no idea why you threw money at me, but if you did, thank you very much. Also, two, I feel like I maybe got a little whatever, and kind of probably let out a few too many things that I feel that as a guy I probably shouldn't have let out. So, apologize for that. Won't happen again. Dog and cat is fighting. Okay. Feel better? As for a little pre-thing, I've been kind of in the works with the networking company. Company I've actually said for a long time had its strengths and everyone gave me crap. But I'm in the talks with them to potentially explore some different networking options just for the sake of exploring. Not saying completely switching, but hopefully at least one of the first of many videos should be out in February. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the questions. The first one being from Alzix. He, she, it, or the toaster says, I would to see what you think about Unifi Camera. Well, the thing about the Unifi cameras is that I got them, they're useful, I hooked them up, I set them up with my UDM Pro, that thing's recording all the time. Overall, been really good cameras. I haven't had a chance, I take that back. I completely forgot to do a review about them, and I did my Amcrest camera reviews. But as a little spoiler, something I will talk about in that review, because now I need to do it and I gotta remember to do it. The thing I have to really talk about is that the Unifi cameras themselves, they allow options to work with third-party devices, but third-party cameras do not work with the Unifi UDM Pro. With that said, I don't really have anything against the Unifi cameras aside from maybe their availability or their price. Give you a primary example. One of them was that little tiny camera, right? $30. Holy bananas. That is super cheap. You usually can't buy them, but when you can, $30. The quality's there, the audio is good, and overall pretty decent cameras. I just really need to do an all-out camera review. Next question is from 60 Battlecat. This is on the Pecron E1000. He says it's still rubbish. Okay. Well, I answer your comment with a question. Why is it that you think it's rubbish? Although there are some ways to do a little bit of market research and see how a product has performed for other people or the customer service, et cetera, but is it because it's not your name brand? Is that like a Dodge guy saying that all Chevys suck just because of the name? And the only reason why I ask that is that because Pec run religiously for me when I really need to grab a battery, whether it's for, good voltage, good capacity, whatever, I always seem to grab the Pec run first. Yes, I have a Jackery 1000, but when I want 1000 watt, I always seem to gravitate towards the Pec run. Maybe it's because it charges way faster. I just recently did another Pec run video about the E3000, and I was basically just blown away by the capacity of that battery. Yes, it's huge. But that thing is freaking huge, and it holds a lot of battery. Doesn't matter. The point is, I like Pecron. I've tried Blue Eddy, I've tried Jackery, and so far, Pecron just consistently has been really good for me. So please let me know in the comments why you hate Pecron. Next question is from Fido Dido. He says, any update to this? It's 5 months since the video. This is Plex ready for Windows 11. I tried. Well, to answer your question, no idea. Next Actually, I am in the process of about to start beginning the video of plex versus MB. Basically, I've been kind of like laying out what I want to do, the hardware I want to use, the testing parameters, things like that, and I've settled on using the Intel NUC, which is the same Intel NUC that I used from Simply NUC to upgrade to Windows 11 to see how it ran. So before I do that, I actually want to update Plex, rerun some of my hardware accelerated transcoding tests, and see if anything has changed. So it won't necessarily be probably part of that video as far as Plex versus MB, but I do plan on trying it again and seeing if some updates have come out that allowed Plex to fully take all of the available performance from that Simply NUC micro server as it will and be able to utilize it fully. The next question is from Sayahida. Just back to Indiegogo campaign. Good deal for $16.99. Beats my Delta Power STN hands down. TAT 1 only cost 1.2K. Oh yeah, I remember why I picked this. Okay, so if you guys watch Will, the solar dude that does a bunch of solar and batteries and stuff like that, he actually talked about not wanting to back things like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, those kind of campaigns to start these batteries. And I have had a bunch of like Kickstarter ones that come up. And there's one that I kind of gave into. I was like, why not? Never really followed through with that though, so never came to fruition. But the Pecron one, I felt, particularly confident about because they've already released multiple batteries. So the idea of like releasing a new battery, with all the research, the development, the mass production, etc., it's just a lot of cost there. So they have to make sure that they could at least get off the ground with one of those new batteries. Also, who knows? They might have like some super crazy corrupt management that's like swindling all their money and buying yachts and they just need crowdfunding. I have no idea how well that's gonna pan out, but Pecron's always been kind of nice for me. So I'm just like, I'll try this one. Next question is from, does it stack up to another 1,000? Jason, repeat after me. Blue Teddy. Not Blue Yeti, there's no Y, Blue Titty. Thanks. Okay. The next question and or comment is from Vertigo. He said on the Unifi Feldme video, I haven't had any issues with my UDM Pro, multiple access points, U6 Lite, U6 LRs with smart devices like Alexa. Seriously, Alexa's the only device that I have that's even smart. Well, Vertigo, I would like to update my original video by saying the issues I had, and I thought I made this clear in the video, is that I could not get MeROS smart devices to stay connected reliably with only running the LR6s from Unifi. Since then, not only has the LR6s have gotten updates, but the MeROS devices have also gotten updates. So I've switched completely over to the unified network and everything connects like a dream. So I no longer have those problems. And even if I still did, you're also running a U6 Lite. And in my research, the U6 Lites did not have a MeROS connection issues. It was only the long range 6s. So not that that matters, but still your parameters are different. But thanks for playing. Next question is from Fritz on the 5 first Plex media server build mistakes people make all over the world. He said, sorry, but kind of new to all this. When you mention install your Plex metadata on your SSD so it runs faster, does that mean install the Plex server app onto the SSD? Yes, really. I mean, yeah. Your Plex metadata is the dynamic data. This is the data that's going to constantly be read and written to. And whatever SSD you're putting that onto, you're really hopefully you're running some sort of backups there. Whatever SSD you're writing that to is going to probably fail first, have issues, always being used, etc. So installing that actual Plex application on that doesn't mean much more than you just have an application installed on that. The Plex bottlenecks are going to be database access and metadata access. So whether or not the Plex application itself is stored on the SSD, unless you are seriously taxing a slow SSD, you should notice no difference in speed. But to be honest, if you're running a primary SSD for, let's say, your operating system, and you want to use a secondary SSD for the Plex metadata and the database, all that other stuff, that's completely fine. You do not need to install the Plex program itself to the same SSD. if that's what you meant. The next question is from Xfinity 2013, and this is on the video that says it's not enough, but I learned stuff. This is where I mentioned all of my flaws and everything and whatever I did and uninstalled the little miniature solar array. So she said one thing it looks like you didn't test is using it in the summertime. Really? Longer sun hours can make a difference. Yes. Winter numbers are important in a solar system. Okay. Well, Xfinity, I mean, there's a lot of digest here. Yes, you're right. I didn't test it in the summertime. As I lined out in the video, I was looking for literally just a month's worth of data. Yes, I know, I mentioned this too. Winters are shorter, sun is at a different angle, and on top of all of that, I completely knew what I was doing and still did it. I installed my solar panels in the worst possible location ever because it was convenient on a fence in my backyard. That fence is now gone, all part of the plan. So I really wish I would have got that point across, or you would have watched that part of the video where I said I did this just for the raw data. Valid points though. No matter how well that video came across or the testing results came across, the end results for me personally is that I now understand what solar can do a lot better. I'm talking voltages, amperage, like just watt hours. Like I understand it because I experienced it, you know? Like you can know and understand that 150 miles an hour is way faster than 100 miles an hour. And you can see it happening. Like you can understand that. But when you get into a car and you're doing 150 miles an hour for the first time, like it's an experience and it's something you're like, yeah, I've done that. It's fast. You get on a motorcycle and you do 190 mile an hour. You're like, holy crap. Some things you just have to experience before your mind can completely just on a root level understand it. And that is basically what I did. Next question is from Steve. Okay, Jason, you turned off all my lights when you said, Alexa, turn off all the lights. She did in my house.
Okay.
Damn it. Okay, that really backfired on me. Alexa, turn on the studio lights.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you feel better? You got your revenge. I know, saying activation words on a video is terrible, and I apologize. I will never do it again. Next question is from Jamie. He says, one potential issue when pairing with a dumb three-way switch, does the smart switch recognize when the dumb switch is toggled? If not, you may find that the turn the light off actually turns it on. The dumb switch is in the wrong position. Actually, no, that's not the way it works. The reason why I say that is because I learned from experience. I literally tried to install two smart three-way switches and they would just not play well together. You don't need two smart three-way switches in order to get a smart three-way switch to work. Instead, there's a little wire that connects the two that gets the power state from that other switch, and the smart switch is able to factor that in to figure out whether or not the lights are on or off. So the proper way, at least with the Miros smart three-way switches, is to have one smart switch and one dumb switch. The more you know. And I say that not from a field of being an expert, I say that from the person who figured it out the hard way. Next question. Oh, that's actually the last question. Perfect. Well, guys, as always, this video is brought to you by my awesome Patreon subscribers, the $5 and $10 of which will be listed at the end of this video. So make sure to hang around for that. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure to leave those in the comments section down below. As always, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and have yourself a crappy day. Okay, I said the crappy day thing as a joke. I just, you know, the thought of everyone, wait, what did he say? That's funny to me. I don't know why. Yeah, so I have a couple things on the horizon. If you guys follow my Twitter, I have a triple monitor thing, right? that attaches to a laptop that for some dumb reason, I am so super excited about. I very rarely use a laptop or go anywhere, but when I do, I always take a second monitor with me. Now I have this triple monitor thing that seems overpriced, but then you hook it up and you're like, God, this thing is freaking awesome. So I can't wait to showcase that. I have to put it in line to where when I was received it, I can review it. So I have to focus on other things first, specifically the Plex and Envy that I've been promising and not delivering on, and I really need to focus on that, and the Unifi cameras. But hey, that triple monitor thing is like one of those things like, wow, if you actually need a workstation-like environment on the go, like in a hotel or something like that, this thing is legit. I'm loving it. And in a completely unrelated note, just in case any of you guys are watching this far into the video, if you tuned in to the New Year's live stream, I did touch base, like I said, a few emotions, but I did touch base on the main topic of that live stream, where I, have a current fight going on in my life between me and my future ex-wife, and that is something that is still brewing. So if you wanted an update, literally a month later, it's not been escalated yet. So my only assumption is that she's in the background doing her little freaking spinner mind thing, and she's loading the gun and doing everything that she needs to do in order to attack me with the full mighty force of whatever she comes up with. So I'm basically just kind of bracing for that impact and waiting for that to come to fruition. So that's the update, literally a waiting game. I know that she's doing something. Don't really know or care. I'm just kind of, ready to get out of the way and, fortifying my position, as it were. So, everyone who donated to that, by the way, super helping. I appreciate it. Super helpful, and I appreciate it. So that's really all I have to say today. Alexa, turn off the studio lights.